Well, hello there whisky folk, and welcome back to the Whisky Friend with me, Alan. If you're a returning subscriber, then thank you and welcome back. If you're watching for the first time, you want to consider clicking the subscribe button down below and maybe hitting the bell for future notifications. Okay folks, today's review is heading over to the southeast coast of Islay in the form of Laphroaig. I'm going to be looking at Laphroaig 10 today. It's 40% ABV. Believe it's coloured, but it's typical Laphroaig. It'll be the first peated review that I've done. It'll be the first Islay review that I've done. So I'm really looking forward to this. Without any further ado, 10. Wow. I actually smelt this before I put my nose in the glass. The whole room is just a whiff of peat, which is absolutely fantastic. But on the nose, it's that strong peat blast. It's like an explosion of peat. Beautiful. I think once you get past it, it's bright. It's a bright nose. Get some ginger. Still quite coastal. Got a coastal note. Picking up some seaweed. A little bit of salt. It's quite minerally, earthy. It's that kind of earthy note. It's quite savoury. It's really savoury. And then you've got your usual, you've got your medicinal, that kind of TCP that people seem to relate to Laphroaig. Bit of menthol and some mint. I'm picking up some spearmint, some fruit coming in, what about a grapefruit, some lemon, maybe some lemon oil, some honey, and then right at the back maybe there's some burnt toffee. But all in all, this is a really complex nose, guys. Just regarding this whiskey, guys, this is probably a whiskey that I wouldn't recommend if you were a beginner to whiskey. I actually think if you were a beginner and this was the first whiskey you ever tried and you ever put your nose anywhere near it, I don't think you'd ever drink a Scotch whiskey again. So in my opinion, this is not one to give to a newbie. I'd probably start them on something softer, maybe some of the lighter Auchentoshan's, a little bit of Speyside, some of the softer whiskies. This is something that would come later, in my opinion. But it's a fantastic nose. Let's try the taste. On the arrival, guys, it is peaty. But once you get past that, it is mouth coating. It's not thick, it's quite thin, but it's rich. Yeah, I've got some ginger. Bit of coastal note. Maybe some seaweed. Quite salty. It's quite earthy as well. Got an earthy note. Quite mineral. It's also quite savoury, guys. Actually, it is. bit savoury. Quite medicinal. A lot of people tend to associate TCP with Laphroaig. You can see where they're coming from with that. And there's a little menthol in there. It's quite minty. Thinking a bit of spearmint. Let's try some more. Definitely not as complex on the palate as it is on the nose. To be honest guys, on the palate it's a little bit underwhelming. I was looking forward to this with the nose, but it's maybe a little bit disappointing on the palate. It's just my opinion guys. Some people, these Laphroaig lovers, don't hold it against me, but I just find it's much better on the nose than it is on the palate. Yeah, there's a little bit of toffee in there now. Let's do a little bit of finish. Once you get past the peat, I get a little bit of ginger, a little bit of spice on the finish. A little bit of vanilla. It's not the longest finish in the world, guys. It's actually kind of short to medium finish. There's a little bit of citrus in there, surprisingly. I say the finish just drops off. The peat lingers. But it is, to me, it's a kind of short to medium finish. Again, it's a little bit disappointing on the finish. The nose is wonderful. Palate is, yeah, it's kind of 50-50 on the palate. And then the poorest part is, for me, is probably the finish. It just goes off very quickly. Just to recap on this Laphroaig 10, guys. I'd say it's my first review of an Islay whiskey. I thought, what better to review than my first one would be Laphroaig 10. If I was being honest guys, I've been a little bit disappointed with it. I think it's purely, I don't think it's anything against this bottle. I think it's just that my palate at the minute is looking for something a little bit higher ABV. Maybe something more cask strength. And I think if you were starting out on peat, this is a great whiskey to start out on peat. And I would highly recommend it to anyone on that, starting on that peat journey. It's a wonderful whiskey. Say just a little bit underwhelming for my palate. But I'm just going to end this video, guys, with the usual housekeeping. If you've liked it, please give me the thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, please feel free. All comments welcome, good or bad. If you haven't subscribed, you may want to consider hitting that subscribe button down below. If you have subscribed, thanks again very much. And it's all to say from me is thanks again for watching, guys. I'm Alan. See you again very soon. Thank you.